Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel today where we will be discussing One Piece chapter 970, Oden versus Kaido. So let's just get into it, shall we? We'll start off with the cover page. It's just a picture of Beji and Vito that are sworn by people that seem to love them. It's not really that important. Let's just talk about the main chapter, shall we? In the next part of the chapter, we see Oden and his retainers approaching their way to Onigashima, but it appears Kaido has met him along the way to his surprise, and declares to know why he has met them on the battlefield. To which Kaido hints at a spy in the castle, and his mansion has just been built and does not want it to fallen into ruin, and that is why he is there, prepared to fight them there. Now Oda's done something very clever here, where we've known about a traitor for some time, right? Because in the present timeline, someone has informed him that Hiyori is still alive, where the Straw Hat ship is, what their new plan is. But I, for the one, don't have an absolute clue as to who the traitor could be. So if you have an idea as to who it would be good to hear your opinion in the comments down below. Oden then confronts Kaido, saying it was all a lie, to which he admits it was. I feel that this has something to do with the deal that was being made as to the citizens won't be hurt if Oden just does what Orochi says. And he kind of compares him to Roger and Whitebeard in this aspect, saying that they were too soft, and if he just went for it in the beginning and teamed up with Hyogoro, it would have been a very tough battle for them, because they didn't have enough men or influence and power back then, but now they have. So this kind of explains to why Orochi now feels comfortable in the previous chapter to approach Oden to demand that weapon factories be built in Kuri. But Oden stands firm and claims that he doesn't regret his decision, and now let's start to talk about the future. It is here then we get our first glimpse of the samurai of Wano fighting the beast pirates, hinting as to why their strength should be feared, as they have superior numbers, but they are surprised to see that they are so strong, but they don't fall back because they believe in the numbers at their disposal. It is then Lord Yasuai then meets up with Toki as Oden instructed him to protect his family, but they are preparing for the worst, because if Oden is defeated, then the country of Wano will be truly lost at that point. Shinobu then protects Oden and informs she has joined his side as she once served his father. It is then revealed that Fukurokoji and the Kozuki Ninja Legion have switched sides to Orochi due to Oden dancing naked each week, and Oden does not blame them for losing faith in him. Now I hinted at this in my last review that the only reason why I feel that Orochi approached Kuri was because he's garnered relationships with other people to increase his influence and power, and it is the case as stated by Shinobu here. So we get some exposition that it is 11 samurai against 1,000 forces. Now I wish Oda would have just drawn King and Queen fully, as we only see them silhouetted. This is part of the chapter as well that I didn't really like, because I've been waiting for this for a while now. We know at the end of the flashback like a big battle is going to happen before Oden is defeated, but like I said, we've already fully seen Queen and King, so why are they only just silhouetted here and only for one panel? It's rather annoying, considering that we had so much of Shinobu, but I didn't really want to read about Shinobu that much, apart from, when she mentions that the Fukuroji and the Kozuki Ninja have, switched sides. And the fact that we're not seeing much fighting here, as the narrator is just hyping up Oden here, stating that the battle lasted longer than Kaido and his forces could imagine, because his strength far surpassed their imagination, which is just a bit stupid in my opinion. I feel like we could just see a couple of pages or panels or something where the actual Scabbards and Oden are fighting properly. And this whole entire time, Kaido's just been flying in the sky, burning up the forest and launching flames at them, which doesn't seem much. Then Oden prepares to attack Kaido using a two-sword style technique, which I find weird as it does cut Kaido, to the shock of his crew, and it looks cool, but it didn't really have the impact I was expecting it to have. Because when we found out that Oden was able to cut Kaido using Enma, I thought it'd be like a last minute effort attack similar to like Zoro's Lion Strike. But it appears that it wasn't only just Enma that was able to cut him, it was also Ame no Habakiri was able to cut him as well. Why was this not mentioned when Enma was given to Zoro? Which just is either really inconsistent or Oden has something in mind with it, but it just didn't seem right with me. I didn't like it. And of course what follows next is what really sucks as well. Now what happens next is part of it I don't have a problem with, which is Kaido taking advantage of what happens where someone shouts out, "Hey Oden, stop," as he's preparing to attack Kaido once again. But it turns out that it's Momonosuke, which makes him hesitate for a second, Oden. And then of course Kaido takes advantage of that by using an attack and hitting him from behind. That I don't really have a problem with, he's just taking advantage of the situation. But of course it turned out to be the old woman that was impersonating Momonosuke. So the problem here is that I feel, is that all we're getting? Literally Oden doing one attack on Kaido, which was on his belly while he was in dragon form, which dragons are more commonly softer there because it's their belly and they don't have the hard scales to protect them. And it just ends like that. No more fighting, no nothing. It just, we've been waiting for this to happen since the flashback started, since we knew Oden has a battle with Kaido, and you're telling me it's just 2 pages? It just falls flat, and I really don't like it. And we still don't know why Oden decided to do what Orochi says. It's just really, it's a frustrating chapter, I've got to admit. So the defeat of Oden at Kaido's hand kind of distracts Ashura Doji and Kinemon. And as they are distracted because of Kaido beating Oden, Ashura Doji is then stabbed in the back with what looks like it is King's silhouette. Again, I just don't know why he isn't fully drawn, but it could also be the traitor as well, because he's literally like stabbed in the back. So the battle finally ends, and it takes about 5 days for the forest that was burnt ablaze by Kaido to finally die down because rain falls from the sky. Oden and the rest of the Scabbards are finally captured, and Oden lies here to the Beast Pirates, claiming Shinobu tried to assassinate him in order for her to not be taken prisoner as well. So that was a nice little sacrifice, and something I feel Luffy would have done, but probably would have failed because he's terrible at lying. So the Scabbards and Oden are now imprisoned. Now here we get a little glimpse of what the country's feeling about this now, and the citizens are not happy about it. They've given up hope on him ages ago, and it clearly tells here where they say he should rather be dancing around naked, and the fact that that it's too late. He should have done something a lot sooner. And now it's announced that Odin and his retainers are due to be executed in 3 days by being boiled to the death, which is pretty savage. Now, my overall thoughts of this chapter is that it was good in some ways, in terms of, Kaido's mindset, in terms of wanting to fight Odin on a battlefield as opposed to his mansion, and the hinting of a spy, and we don't really know who the traitor is, or if it was King, or the traitor that stabbed Ashura Doji in the back. I just didn't really like the whole Odin Kaido fight, really. It just felt too short, too rushed. I feel like Oda could have just really slowed down here. So those are my overall thoughts of the chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and also comment if you enjoyed this chapter or not. And thank you very much, and feel free to subscribe for more content in the future.